happening. We want to say we don't want to go back to what happened in 2007. The president also warned Kenyans against allowing a free, competitive process to become a threat to our peace. As we head into the fresh presidential elections on the 17th October, I want to affirm my support, the support of Kericho people, to His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta. Kericho County gave Uhuru Kenyatta 92% votes. I want to assure him that this time round, we are going to give him 100%. We are going to move to the neighboring counties to seek for votes for him to be re-elected. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Member for Githunguri. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. First, I would like to thank our mighty God and the great people of Githunguri for electing me to represent them in this august house. Two, I want to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for your re-election as the Speaker of this House, together with your Deputy, Honorable Cheboy. I also want to congratulate all the members of this House for being mandated by the people of this Republic to represent them in this House. I would also want to congratulate His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, because we know for sure he was elected on 8th of August with over 8.2 million votes from all the corners of the Republic of Kenya. And he won with a big margin of over 1.4 million votes. Mr. Speaker, sir, we know very well that the decision, the supreme decision of the majority of Kenya were overturned by the Supreme Court. We have a very peaceful president of this republic. Because I know, Mr. Speaker, sir, if that was the case from the opposition, they could not have accepted. But because we have a very peaceful president, he accepted. Although we disagreed with the ruling, he respected the decision of the Supreme Court. What I'm going to affirm is that on 17th of next month, I know His Excellency the President is going to win with over 70%. And if you can see the overturning of the decision that was given by the Kenyans on 8th, if we see it on the positive side, we can say for sure that it happened to prove on 17th of next month that it will go to the history that the first president in Africa and in the world to be elected twice in a span of 2 months will be Uhuru Kenyatta. And the person to lose twice for a presidential elections in a span of 2 months is Raila Amolo Odinga. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I move to the speech of the President during the state opening of the first session of the 12th Parliament last Tuesday, I'm so happy because His Excellency the President appreciated the women and the youth who were elected overwhelmingly in different positions. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have 3 women governors who are elected in this republic, and 2 of them are from Jubilee. In county MPs, out of the 23 women who are elected in this house, 16 are from Jubilee. And the 4 senators who are elected in the Senate, all of them belong to Jubilee. It's only in Jubilee where women are given a space to exercise their democratic freedom.
Honorable Mele.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank, first of all, God for this time that has enabled me to come to Parliament a second time. 2, I want to thank the people of Tinderet for showing confidence that I want to serve them again for this 5-year term. I also want to congratulate honorable members who've made it to Parliament this time. I know it is difficult. Campaigns, to go through campaigns is not very easy. And each and every member who is here, of the 290 members who are here, I want to thank you all. More so, I want to thank and congratulate our president, for he won on 8th, and he carried very good campaigns in the whole republic. The campaigns that we did for Jubilee and the whole country, we saw it. And I know on August, we are going, in October, we are going to even win with 70+1. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the speech by His Excellency the President actually showed the statesman we have in the name of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He actually came to this house to actually open the 12th Parliament, and that is the mandate that is given to him by the Constitution. In fact, the Constitution doesn't spell out who is supposed to open. It says the President of the Republic of Kenya. And when you look at our colleagues in the opposition, when they say that Uhuru is not supposed to inaugurate this house, then I wonder who else will do it, if not the President of this Republic. Mr. Speaker, you will need to know, I want us to maybe tell our members to know that the Constitution that we have, and that which was actually promulgated in 2010, have 3 separate arms of government. We have the executive working and running very well under the leadership of the President, the Deputy President, and the Cabinet, and the whole government system. We also have the judiciary working well under the leadership of the President of the Judiciary, who is the Chief Justice. And up to now, they are running very well. And I really do not understand why our colleagues would wish the 3rd arm of government to be not operational. I really do not understand. I don't know what is their reasoning behind. Because if this 3rd arm of government, which we got the mandate from the people, and it is the sovereign will of the people that has enabled us to be here. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if you look at when we were being sworn in here, we swore and we took an oath to be faithful, to respect, to honor, and to abide by the Constitution. When you get our colleagues not coming to this house and yet they swore to abide by the Constitution, to be faithful to the people, and to ensure that the Constitution is implemented. And in fact, it is indicated there that they do it consciously. Mr. Speaker, I tend to think that our members who are appearing here technically did not understand how the seriousness of the oath they took before you in this house when we came in here. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that me as a member of parliament, I want to thank the people of Tinderet because I served them in the 11th parliament. I will also serve them more diligently and committed to ensure that the projects that we started are going to be finished, are going to be done well, and are going to be done even better. I also want to note that even as we move towards 2017, on 17th of October, Nandi County and the people of Tinderet gave the president over 90%. This time, I assure that we are going to give him even 100%. And I want to say that let us maintain peace and tranquility the way the president said. And I want to urge all Kenyans, we are one. We are one people. Let us keep peace. Let us maintain it so that we move on to have a great country and to have a people who are going to work as brothers, as sisters, wherever you are.
Very well, honourable members, because I can see you're quite the number, let me give this last contribution on this particular debate. But remember, at 6:30 or thereabouts, the mover is going to reply. But we go into the motion of adjournment. If you remember the various motions that you passed yesterday, one of them is that when you are adjourning for a period in excess of 10 days, then there's debate. So even if you don't get a chance to contribute now, you still continue, you make your contribution given during that time of a motion of adjournment. Member for Kigumo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I want to start by thanking the Almighty God for the privilege to serve in this August House. I also want to thank the people of Kegumo for finding it fit to elect me to represent them in this August House. And I promise to serve them with humility, to listen to their needs, and to take Kegumo a notch higher. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to thank you, sir, for being re-elected for your second term as the Speaker of this August House, and your Deputy, Honorable Cheboy. I also want to thank the other leadership, our Majority Leader, our Chief Whip, for the positions that were elected. Mr. Speaker, sir, coming to the speech of His Excellency the President, I want to remember 3 words which he said. He talked about peace, he talked about unity, and he talked about service. Mr. Speaker, sir, one of the noble calling for honorable members is to serve, and he reminded us the oath we took. I want to quote something he said. He said, "Vibrant democratic competition is not destructive division." Mr. Speaker, sir, when His Excellency took over power in 2013, I was a public servant in his government, and I recall the pains we went through during the Westgate attack, the Likoni. He has shown humility, and through his humility, he has brought this country together. The peace that has been so hard fought by his government should not be put to waste. We should not backpedal on the gains we've made because of personal gain and leadership. The Kegumo people support His Excellency, and I too support him. And the reason I do so is because the development he has caused this country through the infrastructural development, energy sector, the NHIF. Today, people are doing their dialysis for free. They are getting kidney transplant and being paid by NHIF. We all knew NHIF, but we didn't know what it was doing before until His Excellency came to power. Through the government of His Excellency, for which I served previously as a public servant, our youth are able to access procurement. Tendering has been very difficult, particularly for startup companies and the youth and women and PWDs. His government has made steps and made it mandatory for any AIE holder to consider the youth, the women, and people with disability. Kenyans have returned this favor, and they did so on the 8th of August and elected him their president. The stock exchange, Mr. Chairman, following the overturning of his win by the Supreme Court, recorded a loss of 32 billion. When Honorable Kinan was speaking here, I remember when we were going through the pain of insecurity, the Kenya shilling plummeted. The tourists stopped coming. Our economy received a heavy beating. These are the things that pain me when I see that seeking for political power is superseding the needs of the Kenyan people. And I'm happy that His Excellency saw it fit to allow all the three arms of government to start serving. The judiciary is serving, the executive is there, and he opened this parliament so all of us can serve. I'm therefore disturbed that members of the other part of the coalition, the NASA, have found it impossible to swallow their pride and come and serve. And that is what they've been called to do. Mr. Speaker, our president has shown remarkable resilience, humility, patience, fear of God, patriotism, and love for Kenya. And if you go around this country, for which I've been able to go, even in places where he did not receive support.
Yes, Honorable Meli. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise under Standing Order number 96, and looking at the mood and the debate in the House, I'd request the mover to respond. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Very well. Because of what we've already agreed, and not in the interest of time, in order to allow as more members as possible to contribute, I direct that the mover be called upon, do reply.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the majority leader who actually moved this motion, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank members for their opinion and discussion on the presidential statement. And quickly, Mr. Speaker, to also admit that as a whip, I've noted some vibrancy in members, despite the fact that this is the first motion they have debated. I was even wondering what would have happened if some of our members did not choose to abscond, because the demand and pressure to debate and discuss is still very high despite the absence of some of our members. Therefore, as a whip, I'm I want to say here that in comparison to the other houses that we have been seeing come and go, I'm sure this is a house that is really going to be vibrant. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank members, especially the new members, for the comments they have made, and encourage them that this should be the way to go, because I think it's very important for us to debate and make good laws for this country. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I wish to reply.
Very well, there's no question put on these debates. They will move to the next order. Motion of adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 28 on the calendar of the Assembly, as read together with the Standing Order number 30, clause 3C, on hours of meeting, this House adjourns until Tuesday, September 26, 2017, at 2:30 p.m. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this adjournment is to grant an opportunity to members of Parliament. This is a normal program of Parliament that when we are opening a new House, members of Parliament must be given opportunity to be inducted, at least to be trained that will be in the induction is the functions and mandate of Parliament. That's part of what will be in the induction, and rules and procedures of the House in detail, and also the process of lawmaking will be part of the agendas that will be in the induction program. There will also be thought about the legislative budget process, including oversight as contemplated under Article 95 of the Constitution, and also the committee system, which is an integral part of any parliament, among others. Mr. Speaker, while we were going through the procedures, moving the motion on procedures, again, a number of our colleagues who are not here, and maybe I will take this opportunity to ask them, because it's important, and it's about them and the people they represent, that if from wherever they are, if they are listening to me, I would like them to join us and the rest of the other members in this induction program that will start on Monday, so that they can actually know how to conduct themselves while in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very important that all members, and even if they are old members, because we have some, like the standing order, which are, our standing orders have changed, and I'm sure even the old members will also benefit from this induction program. Therefore, we just want to request, and for those of our colleagues who are in the in NASA party, Mr. Speaker, I was wondering, because I was an observer in the elections that have been carried out in the Senate, and I realized that, Mr. Speaker, both the Jubilee side and the NASA side were all in Parliament, I mean, all in the Senate chambers, and they voted for their deputy speaker. And I'm wondering why this request of our colleagues who are on the NASA side is being effected in the National Assembly, while in the Senate, business of the Senate is going on as normal. Therefore, I just want to encourage our colleagues that the buck stops with them as individuals, as leaders who have been elected. And at the end of the day, the people who elected them would be the ones who would question what they are doing in terms of how they are representing them. Therefore, I just want to encourage them again that they should be able to join us in the induction program so that as we resume on the 26th, as per this adjournment motion, we shall all have the knowledge, the relevant knowledge for us to carry on proper programs during the session of Parliament. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, thank you. I move.
Honorable Ginyang. Yes, next there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable William Kisang, MB Marakwet West.
Oh.
I arise to support the motion of adjournment moved by the leader minority, leader majority, majority whip, Mheshimiwa Shali. Sorry. Before I contribute to the motion, Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank the people of Marakwet West, the Almighty God, for giving me a second opportunity to serve them, because I served them in the 11th Parliament for 4.5 years, and I did a great job, and I want to promise them that I'll continue to do and even do better than what I did in the 11th Parliament. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate you and the Deputy Speaker for your elections, especially you for your re-election, because it means you did a great job in the 11th Parliament. That's why we saw it fit to give you another time to serve us and serve us even better. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker. Third, Mr. Speaker, now I want to contribute to the motion of adjournment. That we are breaking for a short recess to go and undertake some induction. I remember in the 11th Parliament, we went to Sabaribak Hotel. We were taken through all the procedures and what we expected to behave in this house. So for the new members, this activity is very important. It's going to take us through what we are expected to do. I know I saw some members who are new crossing from the right side to the left. As per the procedures, those are the things that we are going to be taken through. Our dressing code, our behavior while within the Parliament, and many things. I've also seen the program that National Government Constituency Development Fund will also be there. And they are going to take us through on appointment of CDF members, on projects, or now we are going to select projects that we are going to undertake in the next 1 or 2 years, and subsequently the remaining 3 years. So it's very important. Don't ignore. Even those who have not come today, if they are watching, you should not be cheated, because come 2022, your party leader, whoever, is not going to assist you. It is what you'll have done for the 5 years that will save you to be re-elected. So you better appear on Monday at the Intercontinental after Friday, so that at least you can know what you're expected to do as a member of National Assembly. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank and congratulate our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, for his re-election on 8th. I know, especially from as an MP from Marakwet West, we gave Uhuru 95% votes. And
Are you seconding? On record.
I second the motion.
Fellow, I propose a question, which is that pursuant the provision standing on number 28 on the calendar of the Assembly, regular sessions, as run together with standing on number 30, subsection 3, paragraph C, on hours of meeting. This house adjourns until Tuesday, September 26 at 2:30 p.m. Honourable members, even as you contribute, remember I did indicate that you are at liberty to contribute, to say something about the previous motion. And therefore, I will be extending some more 15 minutes on this motion. Member for Chuka Igambangombe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm Patrick Munene, member for Chuka Igambangombe constituency. First, I want to thank God for giving me an opportunity to serve in this house, and the great people of Chuka Igambangombe who gave me an opportunity to come to this house. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to congratulate you for being re-elected as the Speaker of this house. It shows the great confidence the members of this parliament have on my kinsman. You know, Mr. Speaker, you happen to be a kinsman and a neighbor at home. So I was really glad when we were elected as a Speaker again, and I also wish to congratulate Honorable Cheboy for being elected as a Deputy Speaker. I wish to say first that as a new member in this house, I've worked in this parliament once again as a personal assistant. I was telling some people today, I think I was the only personal assistant who was elected a member of parliament. And the boss whom I served, Honorable Mudhomi Joki, became a governor. I wish to thank the great people of Chuka Igambangombe for this opportunity. And one, I want to tell the NASA coalition that they are wasting our time, because I believe the great people of Chuka Igambangombe expect me today to be in this house debating matters that affect Chuka Igambangombe constituency. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, yesterday and today we have wasted almost 2 days talking about NASA. I want to tell members of the NASA coalition that Honorable Raila Odinga is misleading them. Mr. Speaker, I looked at young members, age mates, who have been elected from the NASA side. And I think Honorable Raila is just wasting young leaders, because I've seen them loitering in town, taking beer, hanging around, at our party leaders told us not to go to parliament. I want to tell my age mates that Raila Odinga is over with his work in politics in this country. Let them report to parliament and work for the people who elected them. Mr. Speaker, sir, listening to the president yesterday, I listened to the president's speech, and yesterday I went to K24. One of members of NASA coalition told me, your president did discuss important issues. And when I looked at this member, I told him, yes, I understand why you're saying the president did not discuss important issues, because peace, because unity of this country has never been an important element in the NASA coalition. We want to tell them the issues that the president did, peace and unity, are very important to this country. Once again, I thank the great people of Chuka Igambangombe and promise them that I'll work for them diligently and God guide me. Mr. Speaker, sir, thanks so much. Thank you.
Member for Ikolomani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the State of Nation presidential address that we have, which was very wonderful, and having the feelers from the ground. People did not believe that the president would give such a good speech, because from the events of the Supreme Court, it stunned the world, because it has never happened in Africa that a sitting president will concede and ask for peace and accept to go back to the ballot. Yet we have not counted the ballot to see how many each candidate garnered. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate you for having come back as the Speaker again for the 12th Parliament. I think you really deserved it, because it was out of your good work in the 11th Parliament that members had confidence in you. I wouldn't want to leave that subject before congratulating my colleague Cheboy for having to come in as the Deputy Speaker. Above all, Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the good people of Ikolomani for having brought me back in this house, it is historic that the people of Ikolomani, under the circumstances that I vied on a party which is not popular in that region, they still voted for me. I learned a few lessons, Mr. Speaker, that the Kenyan voter is wiser now, is knowledgeable now. However one decides to do, the voter will still choose wisely. He's choosing wisely, he chose the president because Uhuru has liberated them from darkness. Uhuru has liberated them from poverty, because we are seeing now good infrastructure in our areas. For the very first time, we have tarmac in Ikolomani. We have people who never believed that they'll have electricity. They are getting free connectivity to the national grid.
The member who is second on this row. Please introduce yourself and constituency.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Honorable Nzioka Erastus Kivasu, Boni constituency, Makueni County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to congratulate you for being re-elected into this house to continue giving us leadership. I also want to thank the people of Boni constituency for electing me as a member of parliament to represent them in this August house. And I promise them that I will fulfill the duties of an MP as stipulated in the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to join my fellow colleagues in congratulating His Excellency, the President, for a short, well-thought and focused speech or address which was given to this House on Tuesday, September 12th. I would like to have two comments on this address. One is commend the President for assuring Kenyans that there is no vacuum in the presidency, as outlined in our Constitution, and that is in charge, is in control, until another president is sworn in after 17th of October. And that all the arms of the government are in place and operational. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are in an election period, and with this assurance, Kenyans will exercise their will on October 17th and give us their choice of a president to steer this country ahead. Secondly, I would like to commend the President for accepting the Supreme Court ruling. This is going to ensure Kenyans are at peace and are united as they prepare to carry out the election on October 17th. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity, and once more, thank the people of Boni constituency for electing me to this House.
Now, yes, you have been here for, for quite some time, you, yes. Can you just introduce yourself? You will not get a chance. We have organized ourselves to make sure that everybody speaks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. My name is Peter Lochakapong, Member of Parliament for Sigor constituency in West Pokot County. Okay. I want to begin by supporting the adjournment motion and saying that we, as freshers here, people who are coming into this August House for the first time, I think we are looking forward to that time when we'll have the induction. I also want to take this earliest opportunity while in this house to sincerely thank my people for Sigor constituency for giving me an opportunity to represent them in this house. So I want to say thank you very much, the people for Sigor constituency for this opportunity. And equally want to sincerely also thank the entire community of Kapenguria Boys High School from where I have come from before coming here. So I want to sincerely say thank you, the entire community of Kapenguria Boys High School, for their encouragement and support that also I think enabled me to be here. Then, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we have had some experience as people coming here for the first time, from the time we were sworn in on 31st to the time the President gave His Excellency, the President gave an address here, up to now. We have really been waiting for an opportunity to make our first speech in the National Assembly. I want to commend His Excellency for the speech he made on Tuesday here, while opening this house. And I want also to thank him for abiding by the Constitution, and though he does not agree with the ruling, but he has agreed that I will follow it. I just want to tell the petitioners that just like it was ordered, they also accept that IEBC conducts this election, just like it was said. They didn't say any other body. So I want to tell them that. But above all, I want to say, from where I come from, and looking at the speech of the President, he really talked about peace, security, and prosperity. And I think that is very key in given where I come from. I come from a security area, West Pokot, as you know. And I want to sincerely say, my colleagues, my neighbors, I think with this in mind, I think we have to work to ensure that.
Member for, yes, you appear to be in one isolated place. Please introduce yourself and contribute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Samuel Kinuthia Gashobe, representing Subukia constituency. First is to thank the Almighty God, whom upon His favor I made it up to this parliament. Secondly is to thank the good people of Subukia, who supported me and made me to come to this house. I say thank you and God bless you abundantly. I also wish to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, for having been re-elected. Also, congratulations to the Deputy Speaker. I also congratulate my colleagues, honorable members, for having made it to this parliament. I applaud His Excellency the President, for he has shown truly to the whole world that true he is a man of God, for he is a patriot who is preaching peace to this country since the day his re-election was reversed. He has been preaching peace, and it is because of him that peace has prevailed in this country. God bless him as he is being re-elected on date 17th to rule this country and to show the world that he is an ambassador who respects the law of law, and he is ready to defend this Constitution of Kenya. He was able to remind this country that we as members of parliament need to remember the law that brought us to this parliament. And therefore, I'm calling upon our fellow colleagues on the opposition that there's nobody that is elected to be an opposition. They only find themselves as opposition leaders. And therefore, they should agree to work for the benefit of this country. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to wish the President good health, God's blessing, and success, and I'm looking forward for a jubilated celebration on the 17th after the election.
Now, the other time you stood, now it's your chance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I was here, I think this is the second day. I'm trying to catch your eye, and thank you for noticing me. And my name is Django Patrick Wainaina, Member of Parliament, Thika Town. In the morning session, I heard the Speaker, who was in that chair, mention the name of my former Member of Parliament. And for once, I thought I've been rigged out. Mr. Speaker, sir, it was a hard one. I think in Thika is the only place that I wrestled with a storm. It was tougher than Irma, but we made it. So I thank God. And this is the first time that I'm doing an address to the House. And I owe it to God first and to the people of Thika. So people of Thika, thank you so much for allowing me to represent you. And to come here in this house is a powerful house. So people of Thika said, go to Nairobi, to the powerful house, and bring us back the power of economy. So my major thing has been the economic empowerment. And basically what they're saying is, they have got very productive words. And they're saying they do the best fruits in this country. We do the best eggs in this country, and we get very dismayed when we see eggs coming from South Africa, when we see oranges coming from South Africa, how these guys are doing best fruits, but they cannot sell them in any of these supermarkets because Thika has become a dumping ground, and I know it's just an area, one of the areas Kenya has become a dumping ground. Yeah, we wonder in Thika, why is it that we use the CDF to educate an engineer, and when we want to do the roads, we go to China and get a construction company? So two things will have to happen, and they're telling me, and now they're my bosses, they're telling me, Patrick, go out there, get us the bills that is going to change this. I want to say, in the president's speech, he said one thing that really touched me, that from Mombasa to Malaba, we may speak different languages, we may eat different foods, but we are one people. He talked about love, and love we must propagate. So I say, the opposition guys, the opposition member of parliament, come together, we can make it happen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Member for Turkana South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you for being our speaker for the second time. Honorable Speaker, it's only your election that has not been petitioned. That is why we are so happy, because we are always worried when a Jubilee win, we expect petitions. Even in after 17th election, I've heard that people have already started preparing petitions with big volumes. But I think we will win by landslide. Honorable Speaker, I stand to tell Kenyans that we have trust in the president that we have. And we want to tell them that since he has shown maturity after the verdict of the Supreme Court, that is when he won for the 17th election, when we said, Kenyans, let us sustain peace. Because the reasons why we are in this nation, Honorable Speaker, is because we need peace. Where I come from, Honorable Speaker, the reasons why we voted for His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta is because of peace. We have lost lives, children have lost life, women have lost life, and when President Uhuru Kenyatta came into power, people have been saved from that catastrophe of losing life. And we cannot make a mistake to vote for any other president. Because when he came, we are secure. and we want to sustain that security. Honorable Speaker, I really sympathize for IBC. And I want us to pray God for IBC. Every time Honorable Raila does not win, he takes his anger to IBC. The other time he took his anger to Kivuitu. Where is Kivuitu now? The other time after that, when he lost, he took his anger to Hassan. Hassan is not there. This time again, he has not win. He has taken his anger to Chiloba. How sure is he telling Kenyans, even after losing in 17th, even if we choose another commissioners again, we will not actually take his anger there? For how long will we continue mistreating Kenyans who are working in IBC? For how long, Honorable Speaker? It's high time, if he has problem, then it is better we change him, so that these people working with IBC will be rescued from this catastrophe. So I tell Kenyans, let us vote Raila out to save Kenyans who are working with IBC. Otherwise, we will be tired in demonstrating. We will be tired at actually abusing these people, because these are Kenyans. They have children. They have own families. They belong to a certain community. For how long will we always continue actually ruining their names, Honorable Speaker? I think.
Yes. You've been there for quite some time, I notice. It is not that you have not caught my eye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I've been here yesterday, today, and finally I have gotten the opportunity. Let me first of all thank the Almighty God for bringing me up to this place. My name is Honorable Dominic Kosgei, MP Sotik, and I'm grateful for the people of Sotik for having faith in me and electing me, and maybe for you are not Mr. Speaker. My dad was here on the 8th and the 9th Parliament. You were together here, and then he was replaced by the Deputy Speaker, whom you worked together, who is now the Governor of Bomet. And I don't know, maybe in the near future I will also be the Speaker, if you follow that order. So, Mr. Speaker, I would really wish to comment maybe on the issues of the President. We are grateful for the President of this country. He's led the country in peace, and as you see, even after the declaration of the Supreme Court, the country is at peace, and we are moving on well. I think, save for the opposition, I would also empathize with our colleague on the other side, Honorable Raila. Being an engineer myself, and if you know the probability, if you know you are going to lose these elections, Mr. Speaker, I do not think you would be happy unless you find something to be telling the people, be it IEPC or something. So I would really empathize with him, because on 17, I come from the county where one of the principals of NASA is already championship and is joined Jubilee. So I'm sure our county will give the president this time around 100%. And with that, Mr. Speaker, we are grateful for the president, for his leadership. We expect him to win again on 17, and then we move on smoothly. With those few remarks, I'm grateful and thanking the Almighty God for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Member for Kuria West. Yeah?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. First and foremost, Mr. Speaker, may I take this chance to congratulate you and the elected Deputy Speaker. I know this happened, Mr. Speaker, because you served us well here. And you can remember, you got so many votes in this House than your opponent. Likewise, Mr. Speaker, may I take this opportunity also to thank people of Kuria West that they took their time to re-elect me for the second term, and I had time in my constituency, Mr. Speaker. As you know, during the election, in Kuria West we were many. In fact, 10 members fighting for the same seat, including the former Senator Machage, who came back for this seat of Member of National Assembly. But I promised my people, because of things I did, and with the government we had, since independent, Mr. Speaker, I can tell you that people of Kuria West, or Kuria in general, they were in the cold. It's only this Jubilee government which came and saved the people of Kuria. Being minority, and you know we share even the county of Migori, and you see how it happens always with this opposition thing. Mr. Speaker, in 2013, I was elected with the ticket of URP. People were wondering how I managed. This time around again, Mr. Speaker, I fought with the same party, that is Jubilee. People tend to believe that Migori County is coded, but it is not. And I'm assuring Kenyans this time around, in the coming election again for our president, he will win and will get more votes in Kuria West than what he got last time. And we are praying our God to assist us so that we can have peace in our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, there's a member, there are two members who've been sitting there for a long time. You can speak, you can choose who among you is going to speak before the other. I know the member for Daragwa, he just came in, so it's not lost on me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Is that Honorable Mariro?
This is Patrick Mariro.
Yes.
Thank you very much. My brother here has been very kind to give me the chance to start. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am aware that the motion that is on the floor is the adjournment motion. I want to register my support for that motion, but allow me, Mr. Speaker, in a very limited time, to, having said that, to also say something about the presidential speech that came. And before that, I want to take this chance to thank the people of Laikipia West for giving me a chance to represent them here. And also congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and really the fellow members here for having been voted in. Now, two things. The opportunity and the fact that the President had an occasion to come and address this House really is a testimony of what he said. He did say very clearly that the government is fully functional. We have a working parliament, we have a working executive, we have a working judiciary, and it should be made very clear, because I think there is a very concerted effort by one side, by our brothers and sisters in NASA, to portray that the country is not in the right direction. It is a testimony that every arm of government is working, and really ourselves being here that testimony. Now, the second point is about election. The president did say clearly, and I agree with him, that indeed this election in 17th of October is actually not about two individuals in this country. It's not about President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's not about the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. It's actually about the future of this country. It's about the issues of water that our people keep suffering from. It's about health, it's about roads, it's about infrastructure, and even as we go to 17th of October, that should be put into mind by the Kenyan people and all of us. And it is very clear at this start off, especially after the ruling of the Supreme Court, literally the country and the business people are saying they have lost more than 100 billion. So as soon as this comes to a closure, the better for our country. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Your colleague next.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Zachary Kwenya Thuku, the MP for Kinangop constituency, and I want to take this very first opportunity to thank God for the opportunity to represent the good people of Kinangop constituency, and then take this opportunity to thank you and to congratulate you on your election as a Speaker of this House for the second time. I was looking forward to such a time as this when I would be in this House under your leadership, for I've known you as a seasoned leader and a scholar in law, and I thank you, and I'm privileged to be in this House. Thirdly, I want to congratulate every member of Parliament who was elected, having gone through a very rigorous campaign period, and you came out successfully. We are privileged to be in such a House that is going to be so robust, because we have very fresh mind that has brought new ideas and new way of doing things in this House of Parliament. So, on the debate that is on the floor of the House today, I want to support the adjournment of the House, bearing in mind what is ahead of us for the next 1 week. And then I want to go back to the presidential speech that our President, His Excellency, the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, presented to this House. I was moved immensely by the kind of statesmanship that he showed to this country. Being under such kind of pressure, he was able to stand strong and tell the country to remain cohesive, to remain together. For as a country, there is no way we're going to have development and economic growth until such a time. We hold together and speak as a people. Nothing should divide us, whether tribal or whatever happens in this country. We have to remain one. And I wish to thank the President for being a father. I think it's a contrast. The so-called Baba and our father, the President. The President should go to record as the father of democracy, because really he upholds what democracy is. The opposite that we call Baba is the father of chaos, father of confusion, and really it has come a time that on 17th of October, that the people of Kenya will rise up and really set that guy home, because time is up for him, so that our president can rule with, for the next 5 years at least, with a bit of sanity in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I first of all start by thanking God for having enabled me to reach this far. I also thank the mighty and the good people of Geshogo for having found it fit that I represent them in this House. And I also congratulate yourself, Mr. Speaker, and your deputy, Honorable Cheboy, for having made it as the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, and we are very, very expectant that you'll be able to guide us through this Parliament, and your wise counsel will be able to enable us to pass the necessary bills and to move this country forward. I also take this opportunity to congratulate all the other members for having been re-elected or elected to serve their respective constituencies and counties. I must say that in the initial motion, whereby the President gave us an address of this Parliament, that speech or that address is anchored within the Constitution. That is contrary to what our once worthy but now unworthy competitors are misleading the Kenyans, that it is unconstitutional, or it was unconstitutional for the President to attend and address this Parliament. Because speaking as a lawyer, Article 132, the first function of the President is to address a new Parliament. And within the confines of Article 131, he actually based his speech on the powers that has been bestowed before him. So I wonder which constitution our competitors are reading, because it's very clear, and even when the President has no full power.
Member for Ndaragwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to, one, support the motion of adjournment. I know we need to be inducted, even those of us who were here before. We have new standing orders that we all need to get familiar with. But allow me, Mr. Speaker, also to speak a bit to the speech that was given to us by the President yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes. The day before yesterday. And recognize the fact that it had many themes, one of which was the sovereignty of the people of this country. And Mr. Speaker, I think it's something that we need to be clear in our minds, in our various places or all the institutions in this country. They need to know that the sovereignty of this nation lies with the people. And it is important that this becomes a thing clear in our minds as we go forward, because if we do not do that, we will end up with judgments like the one we got from the Supreme Court. But allow me, Mr. Speaker, also to thank God, because it's through his mercy and grace that has made it possible for us to be here. And again, to thank the President, because unlike there before, he has now started his statements when he is thanking people of Kenya for his election by thanking God, which is a very good thing, because if we acknowledge the sovereignty of God also as a country, we are certainly about to achieve more. His speech touched on many issues of development that are that we in Ndaragwa were keen to follow, and I am sure my colleagues here in Parliament will help me and support me as I seek to get some of those things done in Ndaragwa. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are also happy, and I'm also happy with your election as the Speaker of this 12th Parliament, and I take this opportunity also to thank you and to congratulate you and the entire leadership that we have in Parliament. Let me say something about NASA. Mr. Speaker, sir, I was here during the 10th Parliament, and thank the people of Ndaragwa for allowing me a second time. But during the 10th Parliament, ODM was always reminding us that they were the most popular, the most populous, and the majority party in Parliament then. Tables have changed. Jubilee is the most popular, most populous, and the majority party in this House. They should have the courage to come and articulate their issues. We did it then. The country continued and grew. They should not go out and treating us with some shenanigans they are outside there. It is not useful, and I think it calls for leadership, it calls for courage, it calls for direction from the NASA leaders to tell their colleagues to come and debate with us in this House. If they have issues to articulate for the nation, it should be done here. Thank you.
Very well, honourable members. The motion of adjournment in terms of our standing orders does not require any question to be put. And there being no other members desirous of contributing, time being 7:23 p.m., this House now stands adjourned till Tuesday, the 26th of September, 2017, at 2:30 p.m.